I've been making some sensitive videos recently discussing self-harm, depression, and suicide, both in media and my personal experiences. And while I know that these topics are not suitable for everyone, YouTube has decided that most of the videos should run limited to no ads. This doesn't bother me on a monetary level. I've never wanted to make money from my art through YouTube because the platform is too unreliable and the company itself is too shady. Hardly anyone understands the algorithm, and what we do know can change on a whim, and none of us creators will find out until suddenly half our audience isn't seeing our work. Really, the only reason I applied for monetization was because of the whole Blender debacle. Apparently, YouTube will wholesale delete your channel if you get big enough, but don't allow them to shove ads in your audience's faces. It's no secret that YouTube's bid to be advertiser friendly has made it actively harm those who keep the site running, i.e. the people making the videos. We're punished for talking about topics YouTube doesn't like, such as suicide, mental illness, or even LGBT+ related topics, because monetization will be turned off or limited on that type of content. You can request what they call a manual review, but not only has that proven not to be a review by an actual human, but your video can still be deemed unsuitable for advertisers, and you have no other course of action except to accept their ruling. Again, the problem isn't that my wallet is any thinner from this. It's what YouTube is telling us through this feature. Some people do rely on YouTube for their livelihoods. So by taking away a person's ability to pay rent for putting suicide in the title, YouTube is essentially forbidding them from discussing the topic entirely unless they want to hide their video's true point behind a nondescript title. But that might not even work, as my 13 Reasons Why I Dropped 13 Reasons Why video still got demonetized. It's putting an effective gag rule on issues that still have a lot of stigmatization to remove. Even though falling somewhere on the LGBT+ spectrum or having a mental illness like anorexia or depression is more common than not, they're not very well understood and still seen as othering to some. Shedding light to those oft-ignored parts of our lives not only helps those suffering not feel alone, but also educates the uninformed, especially as young people spend much of their free time on the site. Opening the door to discussion is the first step to help people see that it's okay to ask for help when they need it, and to adjust our society to better serve all of its members. What YouTube is doing is not okay. It's sticking to a status quo that dictates such topics are only for behind closed doors and in hushed whispers. They're to be known, but never understood. Even if YouTube isn't releasing a press statement dictating that they don't want us to make these types of videos, they are still telling us so through dangling being able to afford our lives over our heads when we consider it. What's worse is that YouTube has the monopoly on video streaming sites, so there's no going somewhere else with these discussions. Right now, the only way to reach people with this style of video is YouTube. And even if it's eventually decided that videos like discussing how a gay character is gay do get remonetized, sometimes it can take so long that the majority of your views will have already happened, and thus it will not count towards how much that video makes in ad revenue. Again, suggesting creators not even bother with sensitive subjects. It's not even like YouTube will market for demonetization before it's released. Much of the time, you only find out that YouTube is not running ads after the video publishes. Thanks to Lindsay Ellis's recent video, I understand the concept of advertisers not wanting their product associated with certain things. I can see not wanting someone to think of self-harm when they think of Dr. Pepper. But really, that's not reason enough to justify this terribly flawed system. When it's a conflict of lining your wallet versus creating an open society where we can talk about tough parts of our world, maybe I'm crazy, definitely a bad capitalist, but I think the choice is obvious. I know, at the end of the day, YouTube is a business, but it's also more than that. It is the place to watch internet videos, and because of that, decisions it makes for the sake of business has an effect on societal issues, like even being able to bring up that there is a problem. Though I'm not seeking to make money through YouTube, I find it completely disturbing that all of my videos talking about suicide, self-harm, anorexia, and how characters in a TV show were always gay were deemed unsuitable for advertisers. Look, it's not like I'm trying to associate Pepsi with a clip of a baby being shot. I'm trying to create a space to talk about parts of life that cannot be ignored. And, intentional or no, YouTube is using our ability to keep making art as ransom to prevent any dialogue from starting on their platform. Thank you very much for consuming this video. If you want to talk to me about just about anything, you can find me on Twitter at NotAVampyre. Thank you very much again, and until next time.